Hello, hello, hi. Welcome on in. Who's joined us today? Hi, Jumper. Hi, Goldie. Welcome on in. Hi. How have you guys been? What have you been up to? I realized I was actually able to be here. Yeah, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Well, you are active in the Discord, so I guess we see you there. A lot more editing than before, surprisingly more productive. Ah, that's good to hear. We like productivity here. Which is saying something, because, we yap a lot instead of doing art. But in my defense, I do art during the day. So, yeah. I haven't done anything interesting since the last time we streamed. So, here we are. I did see a lot of, what's it called? Hold on, the music's distracting me. Let me change the playlist. Sorry, I can't think and listen to lyrics at the same time. It just occurred to me. You didn't need to chase after your cat again. Surprisingly, no. They did get out occasionally, but they know the neighborhood. They're familiar with the area, so they usually make their own way back. Wally, I know where he goes to, so I can track him down easily. Julian, however, if she goes out and gets scared, she doesn't come back. So we have to leave the window open, and in a few hours, she comes back on her own. Ooh, she did escape the other day. I was telling Jumper you weren't here. My cat Julian, what happened is she got out of the house, and then I think the neighborhood cats they started ganging up on her, right? And immediately she fled. She went to the engine of my housemate's car, and she climbed into the engine and hid there. The only reason I knew she was there is when tracking the AirTag. That's where the beeping came from. Now, I tried coaxing her out with treats, with snacks, gave her a bit of time, my soothing voice calling her name. Nothing. She refused to come out for ages. It got to the point where I'm like, okay, there's no way to get the cat out. We popped the hood, we tried going under the car, nothing. So what ended up happening is we just opened the window that she usually jumps in and out of if she ever gets out. And from there, we just let her be. I went up to my room. I left my room door open. I actually fell asleep. And then in the middle of the night, I hear a meow. I look over from my bunk bed, and there she was. She just walked in like nothing was wrong. So fortunately, she was fine. But all I learned is that when she's scared and I'm there, she's not interested. She would rather hide. But it's okay. She's a cat, so I forgive her. Hi, Kay. Welcome on in. It's a lot of trust to put in that one cat. To be fair, she's the responsible one, so she can come back on her own. Wally's the kind who'll leave the house and just decide not to come back in. Yeah, she needed to calm down. She's pooping right now. But yeah, I tried coaxing her out. I tried showing her snacks. Not interested. In the end, I decided, okay, she knows her way back home. She's literally underneath the window that she has climbed in and out of a few times. So I'm like, okay, we'll keep the window open and we'll all leave. When she feels safe and comfortable, she will make her own way out and then climb back into the house. And she did. She did escape one time and she got rid of her collar, so we couldn't track her. So she was God knows where. Maybe she was in the engine again. We just couldn't tell. So after failing to find her in the neighborhood, we just left the window open. I left my room door open, and there she was. A few hours later, she just popped into the house like nothing was wrong. So yeah, she knows her way back in, and she likes being inside. Wally's the kind who, if he goes out, he just decides he likes his new life outside and just doesn't come back. He'll see me and go like, "Oh hey," and rub against me, but not want to come back in. He's built for the streets. That's what I tell. That's what I tell his mom. You know, my friend who owns him. Yeah, but anyway, that's my cat drama. If you ever feel like your life is mundane and you need a bit more spice, get a cat. A cat is a ton. I guess you mean a ton of work. You'd be right. Okay, put it this way. So long, it really depends on the cat. So long as their basic needs are met and you give them affection when they need, playtime, etc. Cats are pretty low maintenance. At very least, like compared to dogs. Daily sign in. Well, thanks for stopping by. Welcome on in. We're talking about my cats and their grand escape plots, you know. The affection my cat gives is a lot of biting. To be fair, that sounds like Wally. He's not the affectionate kind. So if you pet him, there's like a 50% chance he'll purr and a 50% chance he'll bite you. It really depends on his mood. He's the kind who just likes to run around and explore. He's an adventurous cat, whereas Julian is more of like a cuddly house cat. You know, she's furniture that likes to purr, eat, and poop. I'm not satisfied with the proportions of the model, so I gotta redraw. Hold on, let me show you something. Say you find that this arm is too short, right? Say it's like this. You can just stretch it out. And for example, oh, you'll find the hand is stretching too much. You can do this. You can maybe try selecting this part, stretch only that, and then ta-da. To be fair, there are a bunch of times where I make like an error in the art, but instead of going back and redrawing it, I realize, oh, I can fix it in Live 2D, you know? So give that a try if it's dress proportions. With the clothing, wrinkles, looks like a skeleton. Ah, okay. Understandable. I was just thinking if it was too short, too long, etc. Yeah, you could have easily adjusted like that. To be fair, things like ruffles and when it comes to dresses, the ones that have like 50 layers, those always look beautiful if you rig them. What's it called? Ow. They always look beautiful if you rig them layer by layer. Unfortunately, it takes like more time to do. I feel like that's one of the things I'll keep in mind if people try commissioning that. Be like, hey, this design can be done in one layer. It'll look okay. But if you want it individually, that costs extra. Because put it this way, if you have a skirt, right, that's separated into three layers, it's basically three times the work of a skirt that's just one layer, you know? I'm still trying to like figure out the balance of, what increases costs and where and whatnot. But yeah, that's one of the things I keep in mind. I want to do something more complicated now that I know how to rig the hair. By the way, you'll find that, okay, you know how the hair bounces like this jiggliness? This, hold on. The way the hair bounces up and down, it squishes and stretches. Look at the little mascots at the bottom left. They squish and stretch the exact same way. I use one preset for basically all physics, and that's just the squish and stretch one, and it applies to basically everything. Yeah, Live 2D is all about knowing little tips and tricks here and there. And yeah, I considered making like tutorials and stuff, but I'm like, if people want to learn rigging, they're gonna have to come here. This is our super secret patented technique that only we know and we will take to our graves. Unless someone asks us nicely. So I know when my character's bald, I had to draw extra hair. Oh yeah, you can't just draw the hair that you see. You have to make sure it covers everything, even when it moves. I'd say hold on, let me show this one. The cowgirl that I was working on. I'll show you an example. Like this hair is nice and pretty and all, but if you move it like that, immediately like you can see the bald parts. If there's like another layer behind this, that would have been great. I did like some little tricks here and there with the rigging, so I didn't need to make any more. But if I was making it, always use more layers than you think you'll need. Because like this one covers it as an image, but say for example, you shift it a little bit like that, already you see like the chin and the bald part. Or even the other way. So yeah, always make sure there's like hair behind the layers as well. That's why even just live 2D art is expensive if you get from like a well-known and high quality model is what I'll call it. Because usually not only is the art good, it's also separated really, really well so that rigging can be done beautifully. Because you can have something that's a beautiful illustration, but when it comes to rigging it, it doesn't like work too well. Maybe it doesn't deform too well, or for example, a layer like that, it's fine as an image, but once it starts moving, it exposes a lot of stuff that looks a bit odd. So yeah, that's why it's important to have like a good understanding of how the art is cut up. So I tried to do the shock die and flip it. It just affected one eye, so I decided to just draw dots. What do you mean? Okay, so we're about to diagnose some live 2D technical issues. Anyone interested in rigging, get out your pen and pencil. The class has started. I finished an eye. Some stuff affected only that one when I flipped it. You know when I sent you the message saying I want to use it for reference? Oh, yeah, yeah. How is that going? Because Goldie asked permission to use mine as a reference sheet. Do share the progress if you want. If you want. No pressure. Okay, so you said I know the sun is making me feel tired. I have the opposite problem. It wakes me up. I hate the summer. There's too much sunlight. But yeah, sorry. You said you flipped it. Okay, let's do something real quick here. Say this is the eye. Mm, this is not the proper rig. I'm just gonna randomly deform it. Okay, so this can be eye closed. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So there's like 1,000 layers of the eye. Say this is the eye closed, Give the messiness. But pretend this is the eye open and closing, okay? Mm, what you'll want to do is click this and do select all, and then Control C, Control V. When it pastes like that, just right click, reflect, reflect horizontally. Okay. When you're moving the thing, make sure you're not selected to these ones. Only select this deformer position and then move it to that place. So, yeah. Okay, pretend it's in the correct position and then the eyes will copy. What seems to be the issue? And or when you say one thing was affected, hold on. Another potential issue. Say you've copied. Wait, would this only copy part of it? No, it should copy all. No, sorry, I was thinking of something else. So, what seems to be the problem? Because that's basically how you copy things. Ignore the pupil missing on this eye. It's a whole other layer, and we're just showing concept. Well, if you like, sorry, one of my cats was on the table. I accidentally bumped them. If you like, you can also share like you can record it and share it in the Discord. Hmm, thought. She's got quite a bit of people to go through first. Ah, okay. Yeah, patience is key. I mean, like for me, non-rushed orders, I think the queue extends to like as of this morning, I think December. Okay, something is not right here. Hmm. You. Okay, sorry. The deformer wasn't working because this thing is hidden. Whoops. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted for a bit. Because for this thing, we're doing you know, the eyes. They jiggle a bit and they blink. You know, so making the little jiggle physics for the eyes. Mm, there we go. Hmm. Okay, let's put it here. Now the same jiggle. Put it this way: for like a full body model, just the pupil jiggling is about the same amount of work. You get like something like this sheep to jiggle. So my brain can't wrap around the idea for layering for models. Feel like it'd be a good idea to try make one out of paper to help me understand. Ooh, that's a good idea. If you need to like see just how it works, yeah, that could help. You could also make something that's just a bit simpler, only like a couple layers for the hair, but the paper thing will probably help you understand like physically. Because digitally, it is a bit harder, maybe to, because you have to grasp the concept without really seeing everything all at once. Yeah, I think the idea of paper is pretty good. I never considered that. That's a good idea. So remember when I said all the physics is basically the same? It's the same with the eyes. They seem just all squish up. Usually, when it comes to physics, you want to deform it more than you ever expect to use. Because it's very easy to tone it down, but not so much to tone it up, if that makes sense. And on the negative side, it's basically the same, just different direction. So, like that. And before you know it, We have a jiggly eye. So with physics, it's always best to have two of the same thing, two parameters that basically have the same movements. Oh, oops. I clicked edit. I was supposed to click replicate. Yeah. So I just named them 1 and 2. Pretty straightforward. Control Shift C to copy. Control Shift V to paste. And there we have it. As simple as that. Mm, yeah, Control Shift C copies the position. So you see like this position of the deformer, the way it's like moved like that. Control Shift C copies this position. And Control Shift V pastes the position. If you do Control C and then Control V, you've just made a second eye. In this case, I copied the deformer. So you do like Control C, Control V, you'll just copy the eye, you know? So that's not what we want. We want to copy the position. That's a trick that I did not know for like a while. I would always manually adjust it twice if I wanted the exact same position. Just discovering this trick, life changing. Ooh, speaking of very quick rundown for learning the head. It's back hairpiece, head, eyes and mouth. Do you want to see this model, the chibi ones? Hold on. Let me get my model. Okay, this one. If you look at this model, you'll see the hair is divided into a bunch of pieces. So I wouldn't count this little thing on the top here. Yeah, we'll just ignore that. But say you want like the main pieces. So over here you have the middle hair. Oh, sorry, you have the hair front, which is the middle, and then front middle, which is here. Then hair left middle, and then I have one called hair left. And normally you'd have hair right on the other side, but this is not a symmetrical model. You'll notice it's facing to the side. So the layers are a bit weird. Normally you rig one which is facing like this, straight at you. But mine starts off like this, so it's a bit strange. But yeah, as simple as that. So you'll see this hair is covering most of it, and then you'll have one in front of it as well. Notice they kind of overlap. A mistake that most people do is they'll have hair 1 and then hair 2 like this. So as soon as this one moves a bit, immediately you see the bald part. That's usually wrong. What you'd want is to have like a bit of overlap so that you can move and not expose the head. And sometimes if you want to be efficient, you can do this. You can have say maybe you don't have this hair. What you can do is you can just take this piece, sorry, this piece here, just copy and paste, and then you put it under. Maybe put it like that. If you want to give them like a little bowl haircut, but assuming you don't, you can just paste and there. Oh, I'm in the way. Oops. Yeah, you can just cut, paste it, and move it along, and there you go. You have your second bang of hair. So, for example, if you realized, oh, you've only made one layer and you're rigging it already, you can just copy paste it and maybe put a second one, and you're like, good enough. Deform it slightly, maybe stretch it a bit, make it a bit thinner, longer, larger, anything, and it'll just blend in. Most people won't notice it's like a copy, and it saves you a lot of time and effort. So you can include hair cap, which is ball cap, but oh, I know what you mean. Hold on. Like this one, if you get rid of the bangs and the ears, you have like the hair, which is just on the head itself. So yeah, this one is basically like attached to the skin. So I'm gonna be honest, slicked back hair like ponytails, always tricky. It's always easy to have hair which is like let down, like you see mine. Now, this on its own, not too tricky. But this with animal ears like this was tough. In fact, it is, I think, like 4 layers just to make it work and look seamless. If you have long hair, kind of like mine, where everything is like, there's a lot of volume and everything is low, maybe you don't need the hair cap. But if maybe there's not too much hair that's dangling, maybe it's a bit like tied up, maybe it's a bit, neater, then yeah, a little hair cap, as it's called, does come in handy. Ooh, about the ears, I was trying to figure out how to make the ears here, and a part of me was wondering, do I dress? How do you say this? Do I just put it at the back of the head, or, I was trying to figure out how to solve it. Then I realized I could split the ponytail hair in like two, so you'll notice it kind of blends in at the center here, and that immediately fixed the problem. It was super complex because even this one, oops, because even this one, it's separated into like the base, and then there's the texture file, so I can like move it around, like that. Bless you. Yeah, sorry, I sneezed. I don't know if anyone heard that, or maybe you just saw me look off to the side. Ooh, yeah. Thanks for thanks for offering to share a model. Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was audible. No, if I cough or sneeze, I mute my mic. It slipped my mind this time. Okay, where were we? We made the eye jiggle. Is it the art you were sharing earlier? If I'm not mistaken, the hair is kind of parted down in the middle, right? Yeah, is the hair parted down in the middle? Is that what you said yes to, or was that a previous question? Because there's a bit of a delay on stream. Jumpo was asking about like his model. He's posted like an illustration there. If you want to convert that to a model, so parted down the middle. What you'd want is maybe a thicker version of like the way the bangs are. So you just select this. What you'd want is, oh, I selected the white one. Oops. I was wondering why it was invisible. Yeah, what you'd want is to have your hair kind of like this, maybe a bit thicker, right? So what you'll want is to have it kind of just go up and then down like that. Makes sense? It'll actually be very similar to this one. This one, the bangs, the strands are very thin. They're actually not supposed to like cover much. They're kind of just supposed to be loose strands from the ponytail. So it's just supposed to be very thin here. But if you made this like kind of thicker and larger, you basically just do the same thing. Like you'll notice this one is just drawn like up and then down. Do something like that and have a little texture at the back like this for the hair for the hair. And yeah, once you actually start doing it, it'll hopefully make a lot more sense. If not, you can just ping in like the Discord. You can feel free to ping me. Yeah, you can ping me in the R channel, be like, hey, I'm trying to do this. And yeah, I'll hopefully try to help. Kind of, yeah, it depends on the bangs, like the style. Like the one that I have is the easiest. I'm just, yeah. Texture at the back, then the front of the bangs go up and then down like that. Exactly, yeah. So it'll basically be, hold on. So you'll have like, oh, sorry, I was wondering what this was clipped to. Why does it turn into a ghost? Anyway, that's another problem. Um, you basically have a texture like this, and then you'll have bangs on top of it, like that. God damn it. And then you'll have bangs on top of it, like that. Maybe something like that. Make sense? So this is not really designed for that, but imagine this was curved a lot more. I can just curve it. Yeah, imagine like this. Make sense? Kind of like that. But maybe not multiple layers, just you can keep it as one giant chunk. Having it separated more makes it a bit easier. It makes it easier to rig, yes, but it's also a lot more work to rig. Because instead of rigging one thing, you're now rigging like 3 of them. And for example, if you separate it like 7 times, you now have 7 times the workload. It depends on how simple you want the model. Um, yeah, I'd recommend just like 1 to 2 big chunks on either side, and then you just have the hair in the center, which, like I showed you, like this. And yeah, as meaning it's easy for me to understand when people. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. See, it takes a bit of practice to understand how things are like separated. Again, if you just look at it like this, it's kind of hard to tell what's separated, what's not. Me and my hair separation. Okay, 6 to 7. Okay, like 7 to 8, like you said, is not too bad. Like I think my model here has about like 7 to 8. I think there's 5 in the front and like 2 or 3 at the back, you know? And I consider this a simple model. Ooh, I do have another model that's a bit simpler. This is VTube Studio. Ooh, I have this one. This one I think has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of hair, you know? And I'd say it's kind of smooth. So yeah, more separation doesn't necessarily mean like better rigging, but you see, this one can rig. Ow. This one this one you can rig rather well, even though it has just a few layers of separation. Okay, back played one ranked match in Apex since there's a new season. 1 2k damage, 3 kills and assists. Well, glad you had fun. Also, when models jitter like that, if you notice the eyes jittering, that just means there's a low light situation. I have a lamp here. Like, hold on. Do you see like the eyes jitter like the slightest bit? So I have a lamp. As soon as I turn it on, it fixes it. I turn it off, it jitters again. So if you ever wonder why, yeah, it's either the camera or the lighting. Even though you can like see and it's bright, yeah. Like for a human, it's bright enough, but for the camera, maybe not. Yeah, I think I've only played Apex like a couple matches. It was never for me. I was never a fan of like, arena style FPS, one person slash one team wins. I never liked that. I liked more casual games, just more chilled, relaxed. I don't If it's a game that has the potential to be put in a lobby full of like tryhards, then I'm not too interested. I don't have the time to be good at it. I only have the time to be okay. And I don't want to suffer fighting against people who probably spend 10 hours a day playing it. So yeah. I don't have the time to compete. I'm too employed to reach goal, okay? Well, thank you for the head pats. What was I doing again? I think we could do the hair physics. Yeah, let's start with that. I'll go get something to eat. Well, we shall be here. Okay, my trick for hair like this is I usually put the skinning thing like this so that I don't actually move this part. The top part stays stiff, so I don't have to worry about this part like popping free. I'll show you what I mean in a bit. But for now, I selected the wrong one. Do you now remember the exact position? I zoom in and I put my finger on the screen, and then when I change it, I know exactly where it was. Okay. I do play these games, but I stay away from the main ones except Battlefield. It has too many players to matchmake me with the best of best people. Do you mean that you get put with people who are too good or people that suck? I make a snow leopard VTuber. I made one before. This is probably one of my very first full body models. Yeah, they were a snow leopard one. I wonder if I could find it. You know what? It's pretty old. The art and rigging do not reflect my skill now, and I think it was a bit bad compared to now. But hey, I'm an artist. That means I am my biggest critic, so it's probably okay. But I'm still not gonna show it. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll go over all of my old rigs. In fact, I don't think I have it in VTube Studio. I'll have to wait. You know what? Let's see if I have it. What was their name again? I have too many models saved here. No, I don't have it here. I have to load it up. But it was really the rigging was cute. It had a bunch of toggles. There was even one where it would take like the tail. And do you know how snow leopards put their tail in their mouth? They carry it around. Yeah, there was a little toggle like that as well. Wait, I think I remember the name now. Hold on. Let me see. I cannot for the life of me find it. Yep, I cannot find it. Did I lose that model? No way. Okay, it's on my drive. I know that much, but I don't think it's on my computer. I'll show it another time. Battlefield, for what I noticed, just throws you with whoever has a good ping compared to you and is more casual to play than Call of Duty. Ah, okay. I mean, good ping is probably a nice thing to factor in. Cause sure, you may be with people who are like the same level as you, but if their ping is like 5,000, yeah. Okay, need help choosing shorts and tights or socks. Okay, shorts and tights plus socks or skirt and socks. I love jiggly things. So let's go with skirt because you can make the clothes all like swooshy and bouncy. And yeah, that really brings life to the model. Shorts, not so much. Like I would rely, okay, for me, I'm a much better rigger than I am an artist. So I would rely more on the rigging, which is why I would go for more bouncy stuff. But if you feel like you can draw better than you rig, maybe shorts is the way to go. But to be honest, either or will be fine. My personal preference would be skirt. I mean, but leopards run. True, but when it comes to like anime characters, usually people don't go for realism. They just go for what looks nice. So I just go for what you think looks prettier rather than utility. Okay, you know what? I'm pretty sure this thing has to be here. Hold on. Okay, it should be here. Hold on, hold on. I found it. Well, it's worse than I remember, so I don't think I want to share it. It's not bad, but it's fine. Maybe one day when we're going down memory lane, share it. I don't think so. Okay, you know what? Fine. It's not bad. It's just I'm a bit shy when it comes to older work because you know I'm the kind who like God forbid I ever started somewhere. Okay, okay. Here's here's a work in progress. Okay, I'll load this in just into live 2D. This is the art file. So this is like the toggle where they hold on to like the tail, you know. It's cute. Thank you. But as you can see, I've improved a little bit over the years. Yeah, I'm very shy showing off like old work, but I know it's something that I should get over a bit. Cause even just the lava girl model in my head, I was thinking, oh, that was very old, was really bad. Until I was showing off to chat, I'm like, you know, this model, a little tweaks here and there, some reshading, and it's actually pretty okay. But yeah, the growth of Ordikai over the years. It's always important to like keep old art so you can see how you improve. I'm just a bit shy. Okay, I may have connected this backwards. Whoops. Yeah, I was connecting it from the bottom up. So it accidentally considered this as the first point. Yeah, whoopsie. It's a simple fix. I like drunk characters with no mouth. Hear me out. They remind me of those crochet dolls. Oh. Also, not drawing the mouth saves you on the effort of rigging about. Personally, like drawing my characters without the whites of the eyes, just because I can make it look good. Honestly, if you feel like you can make it look good, shying away for it is like a bit of a temporary solution. We have ads. I wonder if there's anyone who doesn't have ads. Or am I just alone here, speaking into the void? I hear you with a trick. Ah, perfect. Now ads for me. Okay. If you avoid the things you can't draw, you will never learn to draw them. So, like for example, if you're very bad at drawing hands, and all your characters have their hands either behind their backs, inside their sleeves, etc., it'll work for that one image, but you'll just never be able to draw hands if you never practice it. So it's honestly, yeah. Another rig them out, I'm just too lazy. That I can respect. But if it's something you feel like what's it called? You can't do it. Mm, avoiding it is not the way to learn. Also, a trick for eyes is always adding a little shadow. See, like this one? The eye looks okay, but it feels like something's a bit off. You can always just add shadow. It adds a lot of depth to the character. Makes sense if it's the style. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you see, like here, the pupil. There's like the little shadow here. Now, without the shadow, it it looks okay, right? But it feels like a bit too flat. Something's off. You can just whoop, pop in a shadow, and immediately it gives it a lot of depth. A ring mouth and an old bottle just enjoy no mouth. Understandable. Like if it's a creative choice, fully respectable. And by the way, you'll notice I hate drawing feet and hands. So I hate drawing feet and hands. That's why you can't see mine. That's why the robes are overly long. That's one of the things I decided. What's the version with the whites of the eyes? Show what I mean. It's just the eyes look bigger than I want. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Because I'm looking at the Discord of the image you send. Yeah, when you add the whites, it makes the eyes look larger, more anime style. Have you considered making like the pupils the same size, but the rest of the eye a bit smaller? I'd experiment something like that. Ooh, yeah. If you want, there's like lots of videos online. No, sorry. The pupils the same size, the rest of the eye smaller. That's the strat I would use. I don't know if it's a perfect fix because again, I've just visualized it in my head, not actually done it. That was weird. So I just got a strange error message. It's fine. Yeah, you don't see the little windows that pop up, but I do. So yeah, I was distracted by that. Anyway, Ufe has a good separation guide on a PSD file on her coffee for free. Yeah, you'll get a lot of free resources online. You just need to like look for them. It's just a suggestion if you wanted the eye whites but didn't want the eyes to look too big. That's just a way of my suggestion is just a way of putting the eye whites and making it not look so big. But if you prefer just like their shapes, that's a-okay. Yeah, and just changing it purely optional. I think it looks good as is, even without like the eye whites. So yeah, it's only if you want to include them. Hmm. Okay, hopefully that'll make it a bit better. Well, Apple Pencil's dead right now. Understandable. I considered getting one so that I could experiment with doodling and sketching a bit more. But yeah, I just haven't got one. I want to buy a secondhand one. I don't want to buy like a brand new one. Now, I need the Gen 1 pencil because that's what my iPad is compatible with. But I just can't seem to find any. There's like a secondhand store that sells like electronics where I usually buy a bunch of stuff. They have a bunch of the Gen 2 pencils, but not the Gen 1. So yeah, I use Android. Honestly, my iPad is the only Apple device that I own. Anything other than that, I'm like, I'm not a big fan of Apple. I don't think the technology is like inherently bad. It's just the company's practices. They make products only compatible with Apple stuff so that you only have Apple. Like for example, if you have like I don't know if the watches are compatible with other devices, but just in this example, say AirTag's a good example. Say you buy an AirTag. Now you want to use it normally, but you don't have an iPhone. You basically can't use the AirTag, right? Because to connect to the AirTag, you need like an Apple account. You need to connect it to an Apple device and do all of that stuff. Yada yada yada. The fact that some of their products don't work if you don't have like other devices from the company is one that doesn't sit right with me. Like for example, use Google Drive. You can sync your Google Drive and your phone no matter which brand it is that uses like Android or anything like that. So long as it has like Google Drive and is compatible, you can restore and save everything very easily. But something like Apple, it's like, hey, you either have the Apple Drive or nothing at all. You know, iCloud. It's called iCloud. Sorry, the name failed me for a second. But yeah, if you don't have that, then the experience is worse unless you buy all of their same products, and I don't like that. I was lucky enough to get a Gen 1 from my friend. Ah, that's fortunate. One example of the style of eyes. Ah, okay, okay. So excited to rig the tail for this VTuber I'm drawing. Do share the progress. My voice is a bit tired because I had a 4 hour phone call with friends right before stream, and I'm realizing that was a bad idea. Also, I enjoy drawing short hair for the girls. Ah, long hair is, in my opinion, easier to rig. Like anything shorter than my hair, like you see here, I would say rigging it becomes a bit tricky. But this length and longer, yeah, it's like the perfect size, you know? Oops. Yori, hi, Hot Shack. Welcome on in. We're doing a lot of live to D tutorials today. Now, with the hair tutorial, gave me works like a charm. See, proof that I make good tutorials. How are you doing? I am doing great. I may have exhausted my yapping energy right before stream. So today I feel the strain in my voice. I noticed today why for like the past week it was gone. Like I couldn't feel any strain in my voice and I could yap. And I realized this was because this week, like the past week, my friends were busy. So I didn't like spend several hours yapping with them throughout the week. It gave a chance for my voice to rest. So yeah. The solution, I should just stop having friends. So I don't have people to talk to during the week so that my voice is crisp and pristine simply for stream. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, that's a realization that I had recently. Self isolation. To be fair, these are like childhood best friends that I've kept in touch with for over a decade. Other than that, IRL, I don't think I talk to anyone. In fact, we're working on a bingo card, like a group of my friends, for like the end of the year. I'm not sure what the prize is, but I want to win. You know what? Let me bring it up. First, let me see if it doxes me. Don't want to accidentally do that. It's called Bingo PSD. Mm, hmm. Okay, it's all good. This is my 2025 bingo card. So, as you can see, I have accomplished quite a bit and I'm almost at bingo. I just need to cook more or go to a fancy restaurant. I was looking at some earlier today. Okay, before I win, I want to ask my friends, so guys, what is the prize? And then once I get the prize, then I go fix it and, finalize it. And then show everyone like, hey, look, I am done. So yeah, this is one of the hardest one. Getting one of my friends to read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. It took me several months. Honestly, this is probably the most time consuming one. As for create peace between the cats in the household, I have pictures of all of them sitting together. So, you know, yeah. This one's an easy one. Hike through the wilderness. I might do this one and then get bingo like that. I'm one away from like many different lights. Okay, this is what I want to do. Now, some people may be salty, and if I get bingo, they might be like, oh, but that's an easy one. That shouldn't count, right? But like, okay, on to the next bingo that I got. I want to win multiple times over. You can tick the get a job one. Okay, I made that before deciding. Let me stick to what's it called? Doing art full time for the time being. I want to finish. Okay, I want to finish this full VTuber model that I'm working on now. After that, it's back to mascots, and those ones are like more manageable. I mean, full time counts as a job, true, but if I tell them, yeah, I am self employed, The salty, sweaty tryhards who want to win would be like, technically that's not a job. I could. I could make that argument, but I still wouldn't get bingo because we have this one. Go on one date. And I think we all know that's not going to happen. So I might as well give up on this entire row. Actually, I don't know a human VTuber because my friends have no idea what a VTuber is. To be fair, my friends didn't understand what I did until just like actually yesterday. I was on call with a couple of them and I was showing them the cowgirl model that I made. And yeah, I think I was explaining the concept and they didn't get it until I showed them like the video, the showcase for it. In fact, here's the model. Let me bring it up. Hi Goldie, welcome back. Yeah, I was showing them this model. Where is it? Why is there two of them? Oh wait, I think I forgot to delete the old one. Yeah. Sometimes I make an update and I just port the settings from the old one. Okay, hopefully that should have fixed it. There we are. Yeah, this one. Hold on, let me get rid of these guys. Oops, I can't get rid of them. But yeah, it's this one. I just realized the window is transparent and you can see through it. I did not realize that. But yeah, the first thing my friends noticed is how jiggly it is. So yeah, I told them TLDR, I basically make and sell anime women on the internet. I kind of like this one. I used it as a this is a bit more this is a lot more simple than the cat one that I'm working on now. So I found it as a pretty good warm up, you know. The eyes controls the ears. So yeah, I was explaining to them what a VTuber is. So I pulled this up for them and they're like, "Oh." And they're like, "I think you made it a bit too jiggly." And I'm like, "You don't understand. The jiggle is what the people want. They see the sheep and they're like, I want this ball of jiggliness and I want it on my chest." So yeah, that's what people want. I'm like, there's a market for it, and God forbid I try my best to provide. That's so cool. Thank you. I really like this one, how it came out. This is one where I didn't do the art. So I was mostly trying to work with art made by someone else, which is always a little bit tricky. God forbid we have fun with the physics. Oh, I think I can turn it up. Hold on. Where's physics settings? This is on 60. Let's put it up to 100. This is full jiggly. Which is why I don't recommend increasing it. Yeah, okay, let's turn that back down. So usually for my models, uh, I put the settings of physics to 60. So this is like normal. I would recommend toning it down, but if you tone it up a little bit, like this is 70, it still works, maybe a bit too jiggly. Um, but people can do that at like their own risk. There's no real risk. You can easily just turn it down. But yeah, I don't recommend going too high on it because then things start to break. I got yeah, very cursed. Why do models work the way of eyes and ears? Oh, people just like it. They like when they blink, like the ears twitch. Even if it's not like an animal, maybe they're like an elf with pointy ears, they still make it twitch, you know? Also, by making it twitch, you can do cool things like, you know? Also, even just the eyes, like, look, the jiggliness. Do you see that? Anyway, I had so much fun working this one. Um, I think you can. There's some toggles. Yeah. There's the angry one. There's the sad one. This one you can. This one just the eyebrows, so you can make it like a nervous laugh or scared, or angry, and you can toggle the background. So yeah. Okay, let me switch back to my model before people think I am actually a cowgirl. But that happens with the mouth sometimes. Really? Like the mouth moves and the ears twitch? I've never seen that one. Yeah, I didn't rig that. I only connected it to the ears. Okay, what if make a doll VTuber with a stitched mouth? Ooh, that could be pretty cute. I've done with stitched eyes. The mouth moves and the eyes a bit and then the ear, something like that. I mean, the eyes move when the mouth opens, or I don't follow. Looks like I have a new project. That is the curse slash blessing of being an artist. You get a cool idea and you're like, now I need to make this a reality. Next thing you know, you have like 12 projects on the back end. Also, I bought a lamp so that my model tracks better because it's a bit dark where I'm sitting. Unfortunately, the lamp hurts my eyes, so I keep it off. It's like the mouth moves, then the ears move with it. Oh, okay. It's like the same. Like they just connected the mouth open to the ears. Is the exact same thing I did. It's just I connected the eyes, not the mouth. So yeah, again, you could like connect anything you want to whatever you want. That's the beauty of rigging. What if you connect all three? It'll work. My only fear is while talking and blinking, it might make it swing together. It might make it like flick and swish a bit too much. So maybe not the best idea. Cool idea. Since the mouth is stitched up, I can make it move slightly when I talk. Ooh, it saves you the trouble of rigging a full mouth because it's easier to just make it twitch a little bit and move slightly as though like it can't fully open because of the stitches. Switch a bit much, like a lot of say, oh yeah. You saw how I turned the physics up like a lot? Now that could happen, and if you tone it down, then maybe if you blink only, it wouldn't swish or wouldn't sway as much. So yeah, I think just the blinking is enough. Anyway, back to the model we've been neglecting. Yeah, this is my little way of smoothing out the hair. Once upon a time, what I would do is I would select the actual art mesh, create a whole parameter, and then just do like this manually. Then I realized that was completely unnecessary. And I can simply just take this and move it slightly, and it's good enough. A lot of learning to rig for me has just been learning how to be efficient. Because commissions are great and all, but if you're spending like a full month on one $100 commission, then it's not the most profitable thing. Because you also have to like consider like your the amount of work you do per hour. The exception would be when you're just starting out. I would understand undercharging a little bit. getting a building a portfolio, getting reviews from past clients, getting credits and all that stuff. Pretty important. But once you have all of that, then slowly increasing your prices is like the way to go. Because I used to undercharge a lot. Like I used to make full body models for less than what a simple mascot would cost when I just started out. And that's okay because it was I was just starting out, my skills weren't the best, and I had no portfolio. In fact, like one of the first things that I would do was make free models. So technically the lowest price that I accepted was 0. It's it's maybe not mandatory, but it is a bit useful if you have no audience, you're just starting out, right? You have no portfolio, no following, no nothing. You just showed up one day and you're like, I want to open commissions. Probably not the best way to go. If you have like an audience, sure. Like you maybe you're posting art for fun and a lot of people love your art, follow you, etc. And then one day you're like, you know what? I'm gonna open commissions. I can see that happening. That bypasses a lot of what I'm gonna be talking about. But if you're just like new to the scene, you're decent at art, but maybe don't have the largest portfolio under your belt, charging a bit lower is usually the way to go. But I find there's no right or wrong, right? That's just what I did. I started with very low prices because to me it was just a hobby that I monetized. Like I was just making them for fun, and then someone asked about commissions, so I started offering them for commissions at a very low price, and then as time went on, that price went up and up and up and up until they are what they are today. I'm not sure how to separate the skirt though. Hold on. Is this? Did you put the skirt in? I'm sorry. I'm looking at the art Discord. Oh, I think this is a different model. Skirt depends on how complex you want it. You can get away with using 2 layers. Mm, let's see. Let me show you. Paint tool, sigh. The back and the front. Oh yeah. So imagine you have 2 layers. You can have layer one, and then behind it you have layer two. Oops. Also, you just need like a little bit down here. Make this a bit transparent. You really need 2 layers like this. That way, when this one bounces and deforms, hold on. When this one bounces and deforms like that, you'll see like the inside of the skirt and then it'll bounce back down, you know? Make sense? So yeah, you can get away with just 2 layers. Now, if you want more layers, what you can do is say you have like a lot of frills and bows, you can do something like this. Multiple layers, and then these ones, they move like that. Like for example, one will move up, the other one will move a little bit differently, and it'll look very 3D. So that's what I mean by more layers make it look nicer and maybe a bit easier to rig. But they are a lot more work because you'll have to rig each of them individually. So yeah. It's just a matter of how complex you want it to be. So yeah, if you notice here, rigging the more advanced models is basically crap. Rigging the models like this is basically the exact same thing as the simpler ones. It's just more layers, but doing the same thing over and over. I keep selecting the invisible one. Okay, hold on. Almost done with the bangs. A part of me is tempted to just copy these bangs and paste them over here. Hmm, maybe. Although my voice is feeling pretty tired, so I think I'm gonna call it a day here. And let's see. Who do we know that's live? Hmm. Okay, start raid. And yeah, we're gonna raid bunny clips. So, thank you everyone for stopping by. Hope you had a great stream. Sorry, it's a little bit shorter than before. Uh, yeah, it's a little bit shorter than before. Well, I see. Look at the whip. It's pretty good. I like you added the a little bit more detail to the pupil. It really brings it to life. Anyway, sorry, we have a timer. Whoops. Yeah, sorry for a slightly shorter stream. I'll try to tone down the yapping before I go live. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you'd love to stick around, if you're not already, we have the Discord. And yeah, we do have a raid message. So if you're interested in using the raid messages, feel free to use one of those. Um, but other than that, I will see you all next time. So goodbye, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you next time, which is day after tomorrow. Okay, bye bye now. Thank you.